Welcome to the Blue Channel. I'm here to help you get out of the red. I would start the process ASAP because it's going to take time. And the reason it's going to take time is because of the documentation that's going to be needed. You have to be prepared. You have to have your income tax returns for the last 3 years. You have to have a job, employment as we speak. And you have to make sure that your credit is excellent. Otherwise, if it's not excellent, you're not going to be paying those 3% interest rates or lower. In the meantime, you got to go to the banks want your business, but the banks also want to charge higher than the expect rate of 3% or lower. So be prepared. And it's going to take time. The reason it's going to take time is they're going to document every single application, going to be documented and double checked. So if you have any issues, take care of those issues prior to applying for a loan. The bottom line is the banks need to make money and they want to charge as high a rate as possible. So be prepared. Don't listen to the advertising at 3% because at the end of the game, the banks want your money, your profit, and your house. Because when they make the appraised value, they're going to come in low on the appraised value. But when it comes time to, when you need to sell your property, you need to be prepared. But the bottom line is, you need to be documented because they're not going to issue any loans at 3% if you're not documented 100%. Get with your accountant ASAP. Make sure you have your information in front of you and make sure that it's correct. Because if they find anything that's abnormal, they're going to start digging and digging and digging. Because their goal is not to give you the low rate. Their goal is to charge you extra rates and extra points. So be prepared. You might be better off working directly with the owner of the property. They'll possibly do financing and that might work even better if you give the owner of the present home, if you give them a good deposit and you give them an interest rate of maybe 3.5% or 4% or even 5%, you eliminate the bank altogether and you got flexibility. So it's important to make sure when you start the loan application to have everything in order. And don't be scared to go to 1 or 2 or 3 different banks at the same time, because as soon as a bank knows there's another bank involved, things disappear. And if the bank is desperate and your mortgage broker is a good person, he'll lead you the right way. But be prepared. It's not going to be a simple process. It looks good on advertisement, 3%, 2.5%, but be prepared. So plan accordingly. Regarding the real estate agent in the transaction, the real estate agent will charge between 5, 6, 7, 8%. It's time to negotiate with the real estate agent and lower their commission. You can do that by asking to lower their commission. They can do. They are flexible. The first responder, they say they will not be able to do it. Throw them a number. They're out there to make a living. They need that money. If you're willing, ready, able to buy that property and you have the means of buying that property, negotiate with the agent and lower that commission. Knock them off 10,000, 15, 20,000, whatever it is, ask for it. Because the worst thing they'll say is no. And if they say yes, you're ahead of the game. Don't be scared to ask for it. The real estate agents make enough money as is to show you a house and within a half hour make 6% or 7% of the total price. So if your home is $500,000, 7% of $500,000 is $35,000. Let them knock off $5,000. They can do it. They have the capability. But make sure you ask. Lower their commission. Enough is enough. There's a racket out there. They shouldn't be charging 6 or 7 or 8% on the value of the home. Ask for a discount. You'll be surprised. They need the money. They want you to close because if they don't close, they don't get a commission. And don't be scared to tell them, can you knock off 1% or 2%? because they're in competition with other real estate agents and they can knock it down. You can go as low as 4% or 3%, but make sure you're prepared to ask, and don't be scared of the real estate agent. The number one important factor in real estate is it begins with the letter L, location, location, location. Because the key factor in any real estate transaction, if it's residential or commercial, it's the location. As you can see, the last 70 years in this country, the properties that are in good locations continue to rise and rise and rise. Homes that are not good locations continue to diminish into neighborhoods of destruction. It's your choice. You need to get into a great location, because in location, the price continues to rise. And that's so important, because without the location, you're not going to sell your home down the road in the future. And you need to do this. You need to look at the school districts. Where are the children in the area? I would drive in the afternoons or mornings to see what type of students are in that location, because you'll know right away if they're studious or if they're troublemakers. Very important, because if they're troublemakers, your neighborhood is going down the tubes, because you're going to have kids on the playground smoking, driving around in fast cars, drugs, fights, gangs. It's up to you. You're going to be a new owner of a new home. Check the location of the area of the home. Very important. Look at the playgrounds. Are the kids playing very nice? Are there other kids in the playground? Take a look. Spend a Saturday and Sunday in the area. Make sure where your location is, because if the schools are bad, then your location of your home will diminish in value. Very important. Don't be scared to snoop around. There's no law against snooping around in the area where you're going to invest the next 30 years of your life. Because if you don't snoop around, somebody will snoop you up. Important number one, surveillance of the property for 24 hours before you buy anything. When I mean surveillance, I mean you need to be in the area when it's raining, when the weather's bad, at Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. Surveillance is very important. Drive around in the neighborhoods. See what people, how they keep their lawns. Very important. And how the people, your neighbors, with the garbage. Very important, because in the state of Florida, a lot of people have garbages that go to the sidewalks of the public street. Take a look at the surveillance. Know your neighbors, because remember, once you buy the home, you have neighbors on the right side, the left side, across the street from you, and they're your neighbors for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And if you can't get along with those neighbors, and if you see that they have potential problems, think about buying. It's very important. But the location and surveillance is very important. There's no reason you should drive around, specifically when it starts to rain. There's downpours here in South Florida. There's terrain to see if the streets flood. And you'll know right away, because if the street starts flooding with rainstorms, think twice, because when we have hurricanes, you're going to be in trouble. So make sure, that's a very important fact, surveillance of the property during all types of weather, and make sure you drive around and you can see what problems will occur. And also, very important factor is look at your neighborhoods within 3-block radius of the area of the supermarkets, of the drugstores, of the clothing stores. Make sure you walk in and surveillance the area, because usually when you look at those areas, if you look at a supermarket, usually your neighborhood shops at the supermarket. Ask questions, don't be scared. We live in America. Subscribe and like, and you will turn red into blue. Thank you for watching the Blue Channel. See you next time on the Blue Channel.